Hi friends and subscribers, and welcome to Starry's, Hilder's, Starry's. Hi everybody. Hi everybody, and welcome to Starry Hilder's Off-Grid Kitchen. Yes, Starry Hilder is back in the kitchen, and I am wielding, is that how you say it? I'm wielding a butcher knife, and Mr. Hilder's over there taking a nap, and he's staying out of the kitchen because Starry has got her knife, and that means business in the kitchen. And the reason why I have my butcher knife is I'm going to be making some kale chips for you friends at home. A lot of you people have been asking for my kale chip recipe, and I'm just going to share with you. It's taken a while for me to get a really good kale chip recipe that has been successful. Probably like a lot of you friends at home, I've gone through the gamut of different recipes, Googling things, trying different people's recipes, and I have had anything from burnt kale chips to soggy kale chips. Just couldn't get it right, but finally, after many years, I've gotten it right, so now I'm going to share it with you. This recipe is really 100% no fail, really crispy kale chips. And you know, on our homestead, we grow lots of kale. If the chickens don't get out and eat it, because they love the kale too. But this is my batch, and we're gonna get started in the kitchen. So number one, get yourself some nice fresh kale. And you know, it doesn't make any difference what variety you use. I've got the really big dinosaur crinkly stuff kale. I love the crinkly kale. I think it makes really good kale chips. But it doesn't make any difference what variety you decide to use. It will turn out the same if you follow my recipe. The other thing is, when you get your kale, lay it out and make sure that it's dried. You know, when you get it from the grocery store, they like to spray it down and keep it well hydrated. But when you get it home, you want to take it out of the plastic bags, you want to let it breathe, and you want to make sure that it dries before we even get started. So do that and then come back. Big pile of kale. Isn't that beautiful? And because I'm using look at big pile of kale. But you'll see, this brand or species or variety, whatever you want to call it, of kale has these really thick ribs. You can see how thick those ribs are. So the first thing we want to do is remove the ribs. Now, you know, Starry is whatever. I do whatever all the time. I don't have a special method to anything that I do. So sometimes what you can do to make it go really fast is just use your butcher knife. And I don't cut. What I end up doing, I'll show you here, is it's nothing fancy actually. Let me do that. I just kind of rip it off here. If you want to waste your time, I don't like wasting time. If you want to waste your time cutting, you can go ahead and cut this. But I just find it goes really fast by just taking that nice butcher knife. And you see I'm not cutting it. I am just kind of pulling up on it and taking the kale off of those ribs. And the nice thing about those ribs is the chickens are going to have a treat tonight. And they'll eat them right up. They go right into our chicken run where we are using them as little compost workers, and they will certainly make good use of these ribs. Your kale leaves. They're going to look beautiful like this. Look at that. I just got such a great pile. Now you want to find a nice big bowl, and I use olive oil as my oil for the kale chips. Now, I keep a lot of coconut oil on the homestead too. And what you can do with the coconut oil is just simply take a big chunk, melt it down, and you can use that too if you don't feel like using your olive oil. But I use the extra virgin olive oil, and it really does work well, and it gives it a nice flavor. So what and this, okay, now this is, pay attention. You put your oil in here, okay? And this is one of the keys to getting really crispy kale chips. You're going to take a little bit of your kale chips, just a little bit, put it in your big bowl with your olive oil, and massage that oil yes, massage that oil into your kale leaves. It's kind of every woman's dream to have a massage, right? Okay, well, just pretend you're the patient. you're the client, and dream of the massage that you would love. So that means really rub it in. Get every crack and corner of that leaf, because that is one of the key secrets to getting really crispy kale chips. And I'll show you what this looks like. And it takes a while. You know, this is something that Starry does have patience with. Usually I'm in a hurry, but not with my kale chips, because I want good kale chips. But look at how beautiful this is. And because this is the crinkly kale, I really do have to work it into every crack and corner. But just take your time and do it, and you won't be sorry. Okay, our next step after massaging the oil into the kale leaves is get some cookie sheets. I usually end up doing about 3 cookie sheets, sometimes 4, just depends. But this is the other secret. When you lay out your kale leaves on your cookie sheet, you need to not overlap them. You don't overlap them, you give them plenty of space, just like this. Because when you start overlapping and putting way too much, the tendency is to pile it on. Don't pile kale leaves on. Keep it separate. That's why you need a lot of cookie sheets, because all of this takes up a lot of space. Now, today we have the wood stove going, and I'm going to show you. We're going to do 2 different methods. We're going to do the original off-grid method with the wood stove, and we'll pop these in, and I'll show you how they turn out. And then we're also going to do our conventional propane oven, which is outside, and you're going to set your propane oven at 350. If you have an electric oven, be a little careful with the temperature, because I do see that electric can heat a little bit hotter than conventional propane. But if you got propane, set it at 350, set your electric at 350, and let's go and put these in the oven. The wood stove, we have it going today because we got some meat birds. We love have those kale leaves cooking in the good old-fashioned wood stove. This is the hub of our house. Let's go grab the other ones, but I'm just going to quickly show you. There's our meat birds. We just got them. Aren't those beautiful? I want to quickly, see, there you go, 350. Talk about is, you notice when I massaged the oil into the kale leaves, I did not add any salt, any seasoning, nothing at that point. That is kind of the other tip that I want to pass on to your friends at home. Don't add any of your flavorings at this point. You always add them after you bake your kale. It's just for me and all my experimenting, I found that when I'm adding my soy sauce or my cayenne pepper or whatever I'm going to add to my kale, it does lend to its sogginess, and it affects it. So stick with the Starry method. It really does work. It's really hot, so I had to check it like within, I think it's only been in here like 10 minutes, not even. And it is done. This is so cool. Look at my kale chips. And they shrink, people. They shrink up, but these are going to be so delicious. So 10 minutes or so, those kale chips are going to be done. And this was the pan that Mr. Hilder got to first. And he ate all the kale chips. So I can't show you what they look like. But they shrink. And he didn't eat all of them. I actually have a beautiful bowl here. But don't be disappointed. They shrink up immensely, as you can see. But at this time, this is when you want to grab whatever, like your salts, your seasoning, and you want to add it to your kale chips. So, but they're so beautiful. Here is my kale chips. Now, they're crispy. They're lightly seasoned. I put a little sea salt on them, and then I liven them up with a little hot cayenne pepper. That's how I like it. And I actually like my kale chips a little on the darker side, just to give them a little bit extra flavor. You know, some people don't like them super dark. I do. It just depends. But see, it's crunchy. Can you hear it? Crunch, crunch. Okay, friends, I hope you go and get yourself some kale and make yourself a big bowl, and make sure if you have a husband or or a wife, wives do this too, don't let them get at the pan before you get it in the bowl. He ate it even unseasoned, he don't care. All right, God bless you, and thanks for watching my kale chip video.